Hey guys, so today we'll talk about Excel formulas. So if you come to let me open a recent book which I have. So there's this Excel sheet that I have opened, and I'm gonna explore the formulas in the formula tab on the top pane. And here basically first is the insert function, and then there are different categories of functions that are used. Okay, auto sum, financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup and reference, math and trigonometries and more functions, right? There you have statistical engineering, cube, information compatibility, web. Okay, and then you can also insert Python code inside Excel now. So that's a new feature, and so we'll explore everything one by one. So let's say I have auto sum function, right? So I will say sum. So if I do sum, I will select whatever sum I want and I will hit enter, and it will give me the sum, which basically matches to whatever sum is there. 1642, right? So that's one of the AutoSum features. Then another AutoSum features is max. So if you select this column here and then hit enter, you will get the max value, which is 212, as we can all see, right? So these are two functions in AutoSum. And then you have average. So in average you can find the average of all the values, and you can also you can say that sum of all these values divided by 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9 10, and that matches exactly to the average, so it's calculating the average, right? So those are some of the features of the AutoSum tab recently used. Okay, we'll go to financial. Okay, so in financial you will get a lot of um, uh, finance related, so it's basically dollars and coup days, and you have nominal and all of that. So let's say I select nominal and I say effect rate is 0.5, and I will see enquiry equal to 4, and then click OK. So it will give you that interest rate, right? No, nominal value of that interest rate. So those are some of the financial functions if you're working with financial data. Okay, and then basically you have to say price. Okay, so you can determine the price using settlement, maturity rate, um, year ID, redemption, and so basically it will give you a description. Returns the price per $100 face value of a security that pays periodic interest, right? Let's say the settlement amount is 1000 2000. Okay, maturity is, let's say, is the security's maturity date, so let's say it's 2027, right? Serial date number. Okay, rate is, let's say, 0.5. Year ID is the security's annual yield. Annual yield is, let's say, 2. And then redemption is the security's redemption value per $100 face value. So we'll say $100 of 2. Okay, and then try to click OK. You enter very few arguments. So that you need to explore, if you are familiar with those financial formulas. So you'll be able to understand. Let's come to logical, right? So in logical you have and, by call, if and a, and a lot of functions which will go through, right? So let's go by and. Okay, so what is logic one? Logic one is, let's say, um, d2 is equal to e2. Okay, and then logic 2 is basically, let's say, one this 212, right? This minus this is equal to 0.8, which is actually correct. It's not exactly correct. Let's say let's say 102 is greater than uh, 102 is greater than, maybe less than 172. Okay, which is evaluated. So basically, what is the logic? What is the and? It will do an and operation. So one is, you can see that is false. The other logic is true. So if you click OK, so you're going to return false. Okay. Similarly, you can do the same formula by OR, right? So logic 1 is 103 is maybe less than 102, and then logic 2 is basically saying 205 is greater than 153, right? So I'll click OK. So that is returning 1. 1 means 2, right? So, sorry, it's having the and 2, right? So that is true because one of your logical statements was true and the OR return true function. So we export it. Okay. Now let's go to another logical function. So that is if. Okay. So if is a logical test. So basically what we will do is we will say that if something happens, then what action we will take. Okay, let's say some action evaluate, some logic evaluates to true, then what action do we want to perform, and if it evaluates to false, then what action do we have to perform. Okay, so that is the purpose of if. So logical test is, I want to say stock G for Jan is if stock G of Jan is greater than stock G of Feb, right? Or let's say if G3 is greater than G2, sorry. So let's say the stock price increase, right? From Jan to Feb, you can see. So this is greater than this. Then value if true. Value if true is, I will say stock price increased, and then okay, so it will say stock price increased. Okay, and then you can also use what happens if it evaluates not to true, right? So what we will do is, again we will say this is greater than this. Value if true is stock price increased, and then if false, stock price decreased. Okay, and click OK. So one second. If stock price increased. Okay, stock price increased, right? Now let's say I increase the stock price to 209, right? So you see it changed to stock price decrease. So that's how formulas work. Formulas are dynamic in nature. So if you change the values, it will automatically reflect. So that's one thing to know. And then we will do if error. Okay. So basically, if error is a function, if it returns an error. Okay. So what I will do is, value is let's say we look up this 106 in this entire column, comma 1 comma false. So basically I'm trying to look up this 106 value in this. Okay, value of error. So I will say value not found. Okay, click OK. See, it says value not found. So 106 value was not found in this entire row. So that is the purpose of if error. Okay. Now we will explore another function which is if na. Okay. If na is same as if error, so that's fine. And then we will there's true operation, of course you want to check if it is true, and there's not function which will basically tell you what is not, right? So the logic is basically this equal to this and then equal to okay. True. See, it was false. It was false. G5 is not equal to G H5. But since you have applied not logical operator, so that evaluates to true. Okay. So that's how the not function works. So we have pretty much covered the logical functions that are there. Okay. And so then let's go to the text functions. Okay. So text functions is a very interesting concept where you can manipulate strings and like extract some kind of data from there. So I think let's create something. Create new table, for example. So let's say I say name, and then I will say city, and then I will say state, and then I will say pin, right? So let's say I have a name of Ankar, and city is Kolkata, and state is West Bengal, and pin code is 7065, and then my, so guys, if you're thinking if it's my actual address and my actual pin code, so don't try to visit me, and because this is not actual, so I'm just putting some dummy data here. So don't be under that impression I'm giving out my personal details. Okay. So, and then I'm giving my country, which is let's say India. Okay. So that is one row. Okay. So for that is a table, and I will do it as okay. So now explore some. We will explore some text function. So we will click on text, and then we will say concat. Okay, concat is basically concatenation. As the name says, it combines the different strings together. So I want to combine city, and then I want to combine state and city, and then I want to say state, and then I want to say country, right? And then basically I will say okay. So it says Kolkata, West Bengal, India, right? If you want to add some values in between, so you can add that saying hyphen, and here you can put hyphen, so it will basically give you okay, I didn't add a comma here, so enter. So Kolkata hyphen West Bengal hyphen India, right? So delete. So that was the concat function. Now coming to we will say find. Okay, so we will want to find text. We want to find, let's say, the text west. Okay, within text West Bengal. Okay, so and then we will, what is the starting position of the search cursor. Okay, so that is going to be 1. I will say okay. So basically west starts at 1, so that gave me that, right? Now if I replace west with Beng, because Beng comes in Bengal, right? So we will say Beng C51. So that is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sixth position you have the Beng string starting. So that's how the text function of find works. So and then we will explore the left function. So left function will return some the left part of the string with how many characters you want to display starting from the left side of the string. Okay, so for example, I take so let's say I will concatenate first. Okay, let's do concatenate first. So I will say equal to concatenate in, comma, Kolkata, comma, West Bengal, comma, pin code, comma, India, comma, and enter, right? So this is something which is concatenated. Now what I want to do is I want to do a left of the string. So if I do a left of the string, I will select this text and I will say number of characters. So I want to show Angan Kolkata, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I will say 12 and then click OK. So it says Angan Kolkata, right? So how many characters we wanted from the start, and we gave the starting position and it gave us whatever text we were expecting, right? So we will click delete. Now similarly, we have a right option. Okay, so right option is exactly the opposite of left, and it basically starts your puts your cursor at the end of the string and then backtracks it to the number of characters you want to display. So for example, I have Angan Kolkata West Bengal 70065 India. So I will click that text and I will do number of characters. So let's say I want 70065 India, right? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11. And then click OK. So it gave you 70065 India, which is exactly as expected. So that is left and right. Then the next function similar to this is mid. Okay, so in mid, you want a middle portion. So let's say I just want Kolkata West Bengal, which is in the middle of the text. So what I will say is start number. Start number of Kolkata is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will start at 6 and then how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I will put 18 as the characters. So I got Kolkata West Bengal, which was the exact output that we want, right? So these are extremely useful to extract texts from the left, right, and the middle. Okay, now we will explore some other options which are very much used. So you have lower function, which will basically convert the uppercase functions to lower. Okay, so I will click lower of this text. So you got the same version of the text, but everything in lowercase. Okay, so that's the purpose of lowercase. And similarly, we have another uppercase. So that's like where will it go? Uppercase, upper. Here it is. Okay. So I will click the text and then I will click OK and then I will remove this part. I forgot to remove and then click OK. So everything is in uppercase, right? So with freehand. So then I go to text function and then click on let's say value to let's say trim, right? So I want to trim one text. Okay, so basically in the concatenate function, so let's say I put some spaces here. Okay, so I will do comma space and then I will put comma space and then I will put comma, okay, couple of spaces here. Okay, so then what trim function does is it will remove all the spaces that are available. Okay, so if you click on trim and then click here and click OK, it will no, my bad. Trim will remove the spaces from the beginning and the ending. Okay, it will not remove the spaces that are in between. Okay, so let's say I have this. Okay, see, this one had space Angan Kolkata West Bengal 7,65,000 India, and then here you don't have the trailing space, trailing or leading spaces. Okay, so that's the purpose of trim. Okay, sorry I gave the wrong explanation, but trim basically removes the start and ending of the spaces. Okay, so in the text we have the search function as well, right? So search function and then replace function. So let's go to replace function. So let's say I want to replace, this is the one, I want to replace West Bengal, I want to replace Kolkata with Howrah, for example. Okay, so starting number is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will put 7. Number of characters is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 characters, and then the new text is going to be let's say Howrah, and then I will click OK. I think I gave the text 0, 0. Okay. So basically 10. 1 second. Give me a second. Okay. I have not worked with this function before, so I'm just trying to because I'm pretty much use the command line, like the formula command line. So I do replace and then old text, and then start num is 1, and then number of characters right, is basically, let's put 7, and then the new text is basically let's say ABC, and enter, right? So starting position is ABC, and then since we started at 1, it replaced that, but if I start at 5, it's going to say ABC 5. So if I want to go to my original use case, so I will start at 7 maybe, and then replace it with replace it with Howrah, right? And then it's basically how it works. So I'm pretty much comfortable with this formula tab. You will also get familiar once you get more experienced. So I don't use the wizard anymore. So that's very handy. Okay. So now coming to another important function. So which is basically um, text before, right? So text before. Okay. So one second. So I will say equal to text before this is the text I want to replace, and the delimiter is, let's say, space, and then I will say instance number 1, and then match mode is case sensitive, and then I will say match end, the match could not be found, return NA, right? Then I will say match to end, and then I will say if not found, then I want to say not found, right? And then I'll click OK. So basically before space there is nothing here, so I will remove this portion here, and then you can see that before the space I have, before the first delimiter, our delimiter was space, right? So before the space we have this portion, so we have this return, so that is text before, and similarly we have text after. So I'm not going to go through that because that's pretty much you will get if I use the same formula and replace it with text after, right? So it will just give me Kolkata. text after, right, all the text after the first deletion, right? So that is going to give you that. Okay, so I think that covered pretty much a lot of text functions, and then we will move to date and time. Okay, so date and time are very complex topic. It's complex when you come into programming, if you come into data analytics. Date is something which is very complex concept even for advanced programmers and data analysts who struggle with this, because it's a humanities, it's basically a concept of humanity not developed by nature, right? So we have 365 days approximately, and but the main problem with date is in Jan you have 31st days, in Feb sometimes you have 28 days, sometimes you have 29 days, in March you have 30 days, and then in April you have some dates, and then you never know when the second Sunday is falling, and all of those uncertainties are always there, and there's no complex algorithms that can be easily developed to reduce that kind of difficulty. So date functions are very important, um, and so let's say we will start with uh, um, let's have a few dates. Okay, so I will use my Copilot chat to say create a date table dummy data. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll copy this data, and I will create a new sheet and then paste it. So you have this data now, so we can work with dates. Okay, so now let's say I go into the formulas tab and then go to date and time, and we have this year, month, and all that, right? So let's say I want to display the entire date. Okay, so the year I want to show is this, month I want to show is, day I want to show is this. Okay, and then I will click OK. So it will give you the entire date value which matches to the this value. So that is the purpose of the date function. Date value. Okay, date value is a date text. Okay, and I will click OK. It's I'll come to that. The day. So let's say I want to find which day it is on 31st of Jan 2023. Okay, so one second. Today value into date of date value, and then it expect date text. Okay, so it's not picking up this date text, but then let's see what Copilot says. Right now we have Copilot, so let's take their help and see. So it says So here we got these are the values. So date value format expects a format in this text. Okay. So basically we gave this value, right? So let's convert it to something like 2023 hyphen 01 hyphen 01. Okay, and hit enter. And it did not give us the date value. 3 hyphen 01 hyphen 31, and then I'm gonna put double quotes around it. So I think that's the part that I was missing, and hit enter, right? So that will give us a date value. Okay, so and then on top of that, we can use functions like day. Okay, so I want to say which day it is. Okay, so I will say this day of, it's giving a serial number. Wait, I'll change this format cells, and then I'm gonna do uh, text, right? And then click OK. So it says 31. So 31 is the correct date, right? So another date function we will explore is basically this date days, right? So what days does is it gives you a end date, let's say this, and then the start date is, let's say, this one, and then you click OK. So it will say that 180 days fall between the range of start date and end date. Okay, so that is one of the date functions. And then you have now seconds today. So if you just use today's function and then click OK, it will give you today's date, which is extremely useful sometimes. And then you can use workday, right? So workday, let's say you have starting at Jan 1 2023, and then you put like 14, and then no holidays, and I'm gonna click OK, right? And then I'm gonna change this to, if you change it to text, it's 44945. So there are a total of days that are working days. Okay, so it gives that work number of working days. And then if you have something like weekday, right? So weekday is something like, if I give this and then return type number, it's a number for Sunday, then click OK. So then if you go to format cells and do text, it says 3, right? So it is the third weekday. Okay, and then if you go into year, hour is week number, days 360, right? So basically returns the number of days between 2 days based on a 360-day UL. So again, similar to that function. So I'll give this as a start date, and then I will give the end date as 1/1/2024, and then click OK. So it gives the value of 331. There are 331 days out of 360. Okay, so those are pretty much the date and time functions. And then basically there are lookups. Okay, so lookups we will cover. So lookups, I have already covered the lookups and h lookups in a different tutorial, so you can look that up. But we can use pivot by function. Okay, so let's say the row fields are this. Okay, and then the column fields are days, and then the values are which one is a value, right? So value is, let's say, date, and function is, let's say, um what yeah, this is better on this sheet actually. So row fields, so wait a second. So I'll do delete this, and then I'll delete this, and then I will do um lookup and reference, areas, raw field, function field, value filter, hit stack, lookup, multiple sort, string, oh, pivot. Here it is, pivot by. So row fields. So row fields are an array, okay, and then the column values are these, right? And then value column I want to see as this, and then function is, let's say, sum of this, right? Okay. So you can easily insert a pivot instead of using this. I would refer that. So you can easily create a pivot by selecting the entire column and then click OK. And one second. Insert pivot table, and then I click this and then click OK. And then I want to say Jan is the value, and then I will say values are these, right? So basically all the all the stock B stock is first row's data got displayed, right? So that is how it works. Okay, February you had 200, and then March you had 150. So basically it took this column 200, 150, 180. So you can do all sorts of operations using pivot. So actually a better example would be let's call this month, okay, and then I will delete this, and then I will do an insert pivot table, and then click here, hit enter, and then I will put month as row, and then stock P as values, right? So you get all the values of the stock P in um, Jan, Feb, March, April, July, right? So that's how pivot is the best way to do. Okay. So now coming back to our formulas, right? So you have lookup and reference. So you have a very I want to explain a very important tool, which is vstack. Okay, so vstack, what happens is, let's say I want to stack this column and this column together, okay, and then I hit enter. So it is going to say 101 to equal to vstack of this, comma, array 2, comma, array 3. So basically what will happen is you will get all three values, all three column values in a single cell, right? So that is one. So then filter, okay. So in this filter what happens is I will give an array and I will include so basically and the filter is basically, let's say, 152, and then if empty I want to say not found, right? And then hit enter. So 102, go to filter, erase this, include uh, this equals to this. Okay, if empty, then I will say false, and then I will click OK. Okay, so it gives me 103. So it filtered out the values. Okay, so it filtered out 103, 209. So basically that a condition evaluated to be true, so it gave me the entire row column of that. So that's the purpose of filtering out a column. Okay, and then we can have uh, sort sort function, right? Sort function is pretty easy, so you can sort an array. So whatever to sort this thing, like maybe in like top to bottom. So I will say sort index, a number indicating row or column to sort by. So I will say 3, and then sort order, number indicating desired order 1 for ascending, by column, by a logical value indicating desired true to sort by column. So I will say true and then click OK. So basically for the sort, and then I'll give an array, then I'll be sort index of 1, and the sort order is 1, and the sort by column true, and then right. So it sorted this column in the manner you wanted, right? So basically 0, true, maybe 2, false, right? So if I drag this, to see, it's sorted by the ascending order, right? So that's the purpose of sort. And another way I want to show you how to sort is basically you go into data tab and then you click on this column, just go to home tab and you get this data formulas, view, insert home. I get the sort value here somewhere. Data sort here. So continue with current selection and then smallest to largest. So it will automatically sort this, right? So let's go to the formulas tab again, and we have covered pretty much all the formulas for lookup and reference that I wanted to cover. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got to know a lot about formulas and how you can write formulas. So if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, and thanks a lot for watching.